telling us to enjoy it while they're young. But our days are filled with chaos and stress and cooking and endless laundry piles. Where's the time to enjoy anything? Yeah, that's what I always thought too. There's so much I have to do. When do I find time for peace and joy and happiness when I barely have time to sleep? Mama, it's time for a shift. You can be a happy mom. Yeah, it's possible. If I can, you can. Trust me. I've been a mess. I've been depressed. I've been overwhelmed. I've been to the bottom of the pits. And I've risen. I've grown. I've bloomed. And it all started when I realized I didn't have to anything. I get to. It is my privilege and my honor and my divine responsibility to be the queen of my home. It's not a burden. I'm not the janitor and the lunch lady. I'm in charge. I'm the ruler. I'm the chaos coordinator. I'm the calm in the storm. I don't have to anything. I get to. And so do you. So let's rise, mamas. Adjust your crown. Accept your responsibility. And change the effing world. It's all in the way you choose to see it. You're listening to I Get To, the podcast with Brittany Clarkson. That's me. Hello, my friend. Welcome in. Okay, I'm done repeating myself. Oh, I get that we want to say that motherhood is hard and that life is hard and that everything is hard all of the time. But it's really not. It's just the way we're going to look at it. When we choose to see everything as hard and difficult, it gets really easy to get overwhelmed and feel like we're drowning. When we are problem focused, it's very easy to get overwhelmed. And what is overwhelm? Let's take a look at that for a second. Overwhelm is not having too much to do. It's not knowing where to start. When we allow things like perfectionism to slip in, we can become paralyzed and not take action, And then we just don't know where to start. We don't know what to do. And then we dig ourselves a little bit deeper in this hole of overwhelm. And we really get stuck there. And it gets really hard to climb out. There's a lot of feelings that get involved of not knowing how you got here, feeling guilty for being there. And here's the thing. We don't have time for guilt. We don't have time for shame. That guilt is garbage. Mom guilt especially is garbage. Okay? It doesn't help you. It doesn't. Guilt and shame don't help you change. They keep you stuck. They're a trick, a gimmick. All right? We're not going to allow ourselves to feel that. When you realize you're not where you want to be, I don't want you to see the problems. I don't want you to see your mistakes. I want you to see opportunity. When you're not where you meant to be, that is an opportunity. When you feel like you are drowning because you are so overwhelmed with your freaking stupid to-do list and all the things you have to do every single day, I want you to pause. And the first thing you're going to do is just breathe. You're not drowning. You have air in your lungs. You can breathe. Okay? Take big, deep, calming breaths. And you're going to calm your nervous system so that you can take intentional action. I suggest you find a breathing method that really works for you. I mean, it could be as simple as just deep breaths. 1, 2, 3 in, 1, 2, 3 out. Those big, deep breaths help to clear your mind and they help to calm the nervous system because often anxiety is just inside your body. And to me, it feels like a spring, like right in my chest. When I start to feel overwhelmed and anxious, it's like there's this spring in my chest and it is all coiled up and ready to spring. And your deep breaths kind of just slowly release it so that you don't get you don't get the big hit. It just slowly releases and goes back to a resting position. And that's how I picture my entire nervous system responding between anxiety and calm. It's a spring, and we don't want it to spring, to pop. I'm realizing now I don't know the correct terminologies to do with a spring, but you can get the visual, right? When you're feeling overwhelmed and stressed, you might be feeling guilt and shame over it. You feel like you just don't know what to do. I get that feeling. It's dangerous. We think because as moms, we're hot messes and nobody has it together that we're supposed to be falling apart constantly. But I'm going to tell you, allowing yourself to stay where you feel like you're drowning is a dangerous situation. Because if it hasn't already, it has the potential to lead you in a downward spiral with the guilt and the shame, convincing yourself that you are garbage for not being able to keep up. And when you feel like garbage, you just want to throw yourself out. And it's not okay to continue feeling that way. It's only okay to not be okay temporarily. It's not okay to stay where you are not okay. At some point, you've got to make a change and you have to climb out of this hole. Okay? After you've mastered the art of breathing, identify the main source of your stress. Okay? You might think you have this major to-do list, a whole bunch of stuff that needs to get done. I need you to know what needs to get done will get done. Okay? But identify the main source of stress. Which is the most emotionally triggering thing in front of you that needs to be done? Because when you complete that one, you do the one that's emotionally the hardest. The other ones are a whole lot easier. All right. Look for the domino that's going to knock over other problems. Look for the one thing you can do that's going to make the other things easier. All right. Look for whatever is your biggest time and energy sucker on that list. What is taking the most of your time and energy just thinking about it? All right. We are moms, okay? You have a lot going on in your life. I get it. There's a lot to think about all the time. Between managing the entire kids' lives, remembering your husband's calendar schedules too, making sure there's food on the table, taking care of yourself, doing things that you actually enjoy doing as well. You have a lot on your plate, and you do not have time and energy to allow yourself to focus on some big problem that feels really huge and scary that you're not doing. All right? If you're going to be present, if you're going to be where your feet are, if you're going to actually live your current life instead of living in the anxiety of the future, then you have to stop thinking about these tasks that need to get done, the ones that are overwhelming you and keeping you stressed, because it's just going to keep you in overwhelm and stress. Okay, we get our breathing down, regulate the nervous system so that you are acting mindfully and consciously and taking intentional action out of a place of calm and peace. Okay, then we're going to identify that major time suck. We're going to identify your main source of stress on your list or in your mind. What are you like obsessing about and allowing yourself to be in a bad mood about? We're going to get that one done first. That's the domino that's going to make everything else easier. All right? And then we want to focus on streamlining your non-negotiable tasks. Okay? There's some things that have to be done every single day, and I like to envision that those things are, when you get sick with the flu and your husband, partner, or mom somebody has to come step in, help you take care of the kids and take care of the home, you're not going to ask them to do every single thing you do in a day. You're going to give them the bullet points, the main characters. You're going to give them, hey, I really need these 3 things done. Everything else can wait. You're going to do that to yourself. You're only going to do those things that you would ask someone else to do if you were not able to do them. Everything else that could wait for someone else, that can wait for you too. All right? We're going to take those non-negotiable everyday tasks that must be done every day to keep you and your home maintained and going, and you're going to make those easier. And you're going to be consistent about them. This is how we stop the cycle of feeling like we're overwhelmed and drowning. We make those things that must be done every day easier. And honestly, if you can delegate those to anyone else in the house consistently, ongoing, do it. All right, now's a great time to reassess if your kids are ready for some new, more responsibilities. Maybe you and your husband need to sit down and talk about, hey, who's doing what around the house at this point? Are there some chores and household tasks that we can swap or that we can do together more often? Like, I have found that what really, really works for my husband and I to be the happiest is he cooks dinner while I clean the kitchen. We get both things done. We get to spend time together. It works. For the longest time, I thought both those things had to be on me because he spent all day working. And I thought it was offensive to ask him to cook dinner or to help clean the kitchen when he's been working all day. But guess what? I've been working all day too. We are both equally as tired at dinner time, and we both want the kitchen clean and we both want dinner made. So splitting up together, I guess, solved that problem. And that is our best case scenario. Our best solution is that we cook dinner and clean the kitchen at the same time. Maybe there's some things you can look at that would be better if you weren't doing them alone, if you weren't solely responsible for these things that need to be done every day. Is there a way you can make them easier? Feeding your family needs to be done. Is there a way to make that easier? Meal prepping, buying like from the Home Chef at Fred Meyer at the grocery store, they have this awesome thing that's Home Chef, and it's like your pre-prepared meats and dinner pieces, and you just put all in the oven. If you can just toss something like that in the oven where it's not, like, because I know a lot of people have problems with like frozen food all the time, like the frozen pre-prepared meals, like there's preservatives in them and stuff, I guess. I don't know. We use frozen meals all the time. But I am aware that they're probably not the most healthiest option. But can you find something that's easier? Can you pre-batch dinners one day a week? Maybe you have a family day on the weekend where you guys pre-prepare dinners. And then that frees you up every evening to not have to cook from start to finish a meal. How can you make non-negotiables easier? Maybe it's your laundry. You wash, dry, and fold one basket per day. It's much easier. Maybe you have a kid start the washer. You have another kid dry it, and then you fold it. How much time did you free up? How much mental space are you freeing up by not being solely responsible for these things? This is the kind of stuff you want to look at to avoid you from being constantly falling in that cycle of overwhelm, where you feel like you're the only one responsible for all this stuff. The solution is for you not to be the only one responsible for these things. Maybe you can afford to have someone come in and clean your house so you never have to think about that. It's really not that expensive. I have had it done once now. And it was awesome to come home and have clean window tracks when that's something that I always procrastinate. It never gets done if it falls on me because I already have a lot of other things to do. There's no shame in getting help. It doesn't make you snooty or whatever you think. It's not that expensive. It's so worth it. If you come home and feel good. It's worth every penny if you can come home and feel good to be home. All right. Next, I want you to give yourself grace. No one is doing it all perfectly. You're not even meant to do it all perfectly. No one's doing everything all by themselves. Okay? You look at the most successful woman out there, whatever woman comes to mind that is like just kicking butt and like winning at this whole mom thing, she's not doing it alone. I guarantee she's not allowing every single thing in the house and in her life to fall on her shoulders. Okay? If there's a mom who seems to have everything together and like her kids listen really well, she's not doing everything herself. What she's likely done is taught her kids to be responsible for their own stuff. She's taught her kids to be responsible for their own lives. They get to soccer practice on time because her kids know they have to take care of their own stuff. They have to get themselves to the car before the car is leaving. Something like that. I don't exactly know all the situations, but you get what I mean. She's not, and if she is running around and taking care of everything for everyone, that's a dangerous situation for her. She's probably about to burn out. If she's not making time to care for herself, that could be potentially dangerous for her. Because what happens when you do everything yourself all of the time? You probably start to feel overwhelmed, even if you're not showing signs of overwhelm. There's plenty of people out there who are burnt out, overwhelmed, depressed, just full of anxiety, and it doesn't show. You won't see it on someone else because those are internal conflicts and problems. And a lot of people who've lived with depression and anxiety for a long time have gotten really good at masking that and hiding it from other people. I speak from experience. People who've heard my story now and understand, like, they've heard how bad it was for me mentally. Everyone who knows me in real life is incredibly surprised by that because I was really good at masking how I was feeling. I was really good at hiding that. So, yeah, I guess I lived a lie and I let it look like things were easier for me than they were. So, give yourself grace when you see that it looks like someone else is doing everything and you feel like you are less than because you can't do everything. You're not meant to do everything. You're supposed to have a village. We're supposed to have help. We're supposed to be here for each other, help each other, guide each other. That's the beautiful thing about living in the internet age, is that I can be here supporting and guiding and helping someone across the world. The next thing I want you to do is to make a strengths list. Okay? When you're feeling stressed and overwhelmed, you're going to breathe. You're going to identify your main source of stress. You're going to streamline your everyday tasks. You're going to give yourself grace. And then you're going to make a strengths list. You're going to build yourself up. All right? Grab a notebook, grab a pen. What are you doing right? What are you good at? What good decisions have you made? I want you to write down your strengths. How much do you have on your plate? Write down everything you're good at doing, everything that like lights you up to do. All right? What are you good at? What are you doing right? Write down the smallest of wins. Write the smallest of wins and the biggest of wins. I want you to come up with at least 20 things on your strengths list, at least 20. And I want you to keep this nearby and I want you to look at it. I want you to constantly remind yourself of the things you've already done well. Confidence is key to growth. You have to believe you can if you're going to. Okay, quick rundown of that again. When you're feeling overwhelmed and you feel like you are drowning, breathe. Calm your nervous system. Breathe before you take intentional action. Then you're going to identify the main source of stress and you're going to take care of that first. All right? Do the worst job first. Take out the boss before you take out the minions. All right? We're going to streamline your daily tasks. Delegate. Delete. All right? If it doesn't have to be done, it doesn't have to be stressed about. Give yourself grace because no one's doing it perfectly. No one's expecting you to do it perfectly. It's okay to do an okay job sometimes. And make a strengths list. Build yourself up. Build your confidence. Because you can and you will. Okay? And I'd like to take this time right now to invite you into enrollment for the Happy Mom Method. Okay? You want to go deeper on all these things? This is it. This is where it's going to happen. Enrollment opens tomorrow, September 30th, and will be open until October 11th. Okay? This is enrollment for pre-sale of the course. This is our first round of launching, okay, which is really exciting for you to get in right now. All right? Because if you're getting in during this pre-sale launch, you're going to get in for the lowest price this course will ever be offered at. Okay? You're going to get all the new lessons as they're created and every bonus that's ever added in the future. Okay? You're going to get it all without ever having to pay more than you're going to pay to get in with the pre-sale. All right? The pre-sale price is $99. And again, that's the lowest it's ever going to be. Okay? If you've ever purchased from me before, you've gotten any printables from my Etsy shop, you've gotten the Happy Mom Brain or my planner or anything like that, you know if you've bought from me before that you're going to get far more than your money's worth from this. Okay? I have this awful tendency as a business owner to underprice everything. And that's because I grew up shopping from Walmart clearance racks. I have never felt comfortable spending money on myself. It took a lot of growth to get me there. So I want you to know when I'm asking you to spend $99 on something, you're going to get a lot more than $99 worth. Okay? This is clearance level price for what I'm about to offer you. The Happy Mom Method opens up September 30th and it will close October 11th. And it likely won't open again until the new year. And when it opens again, it's going to be more complete and the price is going to be closer to the final price for the product. Okay? And here's what's also great about getting in at this entry point where it's just being created and it's brand new is that you're going to also get into a Facebook group where you're going to have one-on-one access to me as well as access to other members of the course going through it together. It'll kind of be like a virtual classroom. I'll upload the lessons and then we'll be able to chat about it in the Facebook group. You can give me feedback. You can share your homework for the week. We're going to grow it together. And by getting your feedback, I'm going to know more specifically what you need for me to put in that course. So the course will be tailored to you in this opening group of the program. So you're kind of actually getting group coaching as well for that $99 price, which is unheard of in the coaching realm to get a full course and group coaching with that one-on-one access to me as we're going through it. So you are definitely getting far more value than the price. So I will put a link to the Happy Mom Method signups in the description of this episode. If you're listening the day before it opens, there's going to be a link to get you into the wait list so that you'll get an email as soon as it opens. And if you're listening to this episode after it's opened, that link will take you to checkout. I'm so happy you're here and I'm so excited for the future we're going to build together. Thank you so much for joining me for this episode of I Get To. It really does mean the world to me to have you here. But are you ready to take this a step farther? Check the description below this episode and grab the Happy Mom Mindset mini guide. It's totally free to you and it's not just for moms, by the way. Then hop onto Instagram. Let me know what you thought about this episode. Share your screenshot, tag me, Britt Clarkson. And if any part of this has resonated with you, I so appreciate if you'd leave me a review and a rating on Apple Podcasts. It really is just the only way podcasts get seen. And then share this on social, text it to your bestie. You're part of a movement now. We're here to change the minds of moms everywhere. It doesn't have to be just this hard, hot mess thing anymore. We get to enjoy our lives, guys. Let's go.